Google Dialogflow Integration Quickstart. This Quickstart video takes you through the steps required to get you set up to use your Google Dialogflow bot with Pure Cloud Architect. Before we get started, make sure that you have configured Google's two prerequisites, a Google Cloud Platform account and a Google Dialogflow agent. An agent is Google's term for a bot. You can configure these on the GCP Google Cloud Platform website. I'll take you through every step needed to link your Dialogflow bot to Pure Cloud, including how to create the Dialogflow service account credential in the GCP, obtain Dialogflow from the Genesys App Foundry, create the Pure Cloud OAuth client credential, configure the Dialogflow platform service account and Pure Cloud OAuth client credentials in Pure Cloud integrations, activate the Dialogflow integration, and create a Pure Cloud Architect flow and configure it to use your Dialogflow bot. To begin, create the Google Dialogflow Platform Service Account credential using your existing GCP account. To create a service account for the project associated with your Dialogflow agent, click I am an admin, and then Service Accounts. The Service Accounts section appears. Click Create Service Account. Give the service account a name, and click Create. Service Account Permissions appears. Grant the Dialogflow API Admin and Dialogflow API Client roles to the service account. To save your service account, click Continue. Now you are ready to create and download a JSON service account key, which we will use later to configure the Pure Cloud integration credentials. Click Create Key, and then Create. Close the confirmation pop-up and note the private key that was saved to your computer. Now install the Google Dialogflow integration in your Pure Cloud org. Please note, this is a premium application, so you have to contact Pure Cloud Sales in advance to add it to your subscription. In Pure Cloud, click Admin. Under Integrations, click Integrations. Click Plus Integrations, and search for the Dialogflow. When the Google Dialogflow tile appears, click Install to add the integration. To configure the Google Dialogflow integration, you need the Google Dialogflow Service Account Key JSON file we created earlier, and a Pure Cloud OAuth client credential. Here's how to create the Pure Cloud OAuth client credential. Still in Integrations, go to the OAuth section and click Add Client. Give the new client an app name, and under Grant Types, click Client Credentials. A Roles tab appears. Click the Roles tab and enable the admin and employee roles. Click Save. An acknowledgement appears. Click I accept to finish creating the client. Copy the client ID and client secret to a text file for use later. Now configure the Google and Pure Cloud integration using the Google Dialogflow Service Account Key JSON file and the Pure Cloud OAuth client credentials that we created earlier. Back in the Pure Cloud integration section, click the Configuration tab. Click Configure for the Pure Cloud OAuth client credential. Copy the client ID and the client secret from the file you stored them in earlier. Paste them into the appropriate fields of the Configure Credentials window and click OK. Similarly, click Configure for the Google Cloud Platform Service Account credential. Copy the client ID, client email, private key ID, and private key values from the JSON file you downloaded from the GCP and paste them into the appropriate fields of the Configure Credentials window and click OK. Now, save your configuration. Now that the integration configuration is done, you can activate your Google Dialogflow integration. Back in the Integration section, activate the Google Dialogflow integration, and click Yes to confirm. Your integration is now active and ready to use. Finally, you can create an architect flow and configure it with a Google Dialogflow bot. This example creates a natural language understanding menu to interpret the caller's intent when the caller first enters the call flow. In PureCloud, click Admin. Under Architect, click Architect. Click Add. The Create Flow window appears. Give the flow a name and click Create Flow. A new blank flow appears. Under Reusable Tasks, click Add Reusable Task here, then Toolbox and Task. Give the new task a name and click Set this as the starting task. This will be the first thing that the caller hears when they enter the flow. Open the task to configure the details. Drag the Call Dialogflow bot action to the flow, and select the Dialogflow agent that you previously configured in the GCP. In Architect, you can assign variables to all slots returned from Dialogflow. You can use these later in the flow for fulfillment or call steering. All intents returned from Dialogflow are modeled as flow legs that you can use to steer the call to some self-service action or to an agent. In this example, we send the call to ACD and set the queue based on the intent returned from Dialogflow. Once you have saved and published your flow, you are ready to assign a number to it, start to call into it, and test your bot. Thanks for watching.